A ver si está esto. Alright, let's start with a new time. Alright, so like I did the sound test and let's do chapter the first one. Like when now we finished Maria Antonia and now we're doing Princess Sissi. Wake up, Sissi, you missed breakfast. A gentle voice wakes me and I open my eyes to a beautiful young woman sitting on the edge of my bed. Spring sunlight spills through the windows, blinding and dazzling, and my grogginess is instantly driven away. I enter a book. I am Elizabeth, Duchess of Bavaria. Most call me Sissi. The lady in front of me is my dearest sister Helen, whom I always call Nanny. I feel another person's memories merge with mine, and I am awake now. Oh no, I'm going to be late for Mr. Malaya's history class. I attend history class at Mr. Malaya's house every Wednesday, and it's my favorite lesson. I leap out of bed and scramble for a suitable outfit. Helen shakes her head, and she rises and closes the window. You left the window open again, Sissy. Did you sneak out last night? Don't misjudge me so, Nene. I fell out of a tree the last time I tried, and I'm never risking that again. I hope so. Father sent a gift from Munich, Sissy. I think you'll like it. This gift is amazing, and it's come just in time. I think Titania will like it too. Could you wait for me downstairs, Nene, and I'll join you after I get changed? Okay, Sissy, I don't need to ask the coachman to prepare the carriage, do I? It looks like you'll be riding Titania to Mr. Miley's house again. Titania be the horse. You know me so well, dear Nene. I run downstairs after putting on a new outfit, and my mother is teaching my younger siblings how to eat elegantly. I wink at Nene and grab a roll from the table and prepare to slip out. Sissy, you're neglecting table manners as well. I thought mass indulgence caused your slower behavior, and I never imagined you had even more uncouth after he left on his travels. I'm sorry, Mother, I'm going to be late. And you said to yourself, learning the history of Austrian Empire is very important. Very well, though I don't trust that peculiar old Hungarian man. And I never know what strange ideas he will put in your head. Father carefully shows Mr. Malayas to be my tutor, Mother, and you must trust him. It's because your father picked him that I don't trust him. His most recent newspaper column greatly upset your Aunt Sophie. I've attended Mr. Malaya's class before, Mother. He's genuinely knowledgeable and quite neutral. I hope so. I don't want to irritate the royal family again. Had the coachman taken it easy, and I heard people are getting attacked by refugees. I haven't spent any time alone with Titania in ages, Mother. Father sent me riding a parrot, and he must be thinking of how dashing I look on my horse. I wink at my mother and then give each of my siblings a swift kiss on the cheek. I will have a beautiful flower garland for you all when I return. My siblings squeeze me on the chin and giggle, and they say that they want to go riding with me. Good God, Max has spoiled all of you. Don't worry, Mother, and I will bring Matilde and Carl to French class with me later. Thank God I have you, Nene. And why doesn't Sissy enjoy learning things like that? I fly out of the house and leap onto my horse, and I leave behind my mother's daily complaints behind. My horse got us along the lake, and I lived here since I was a child, but I'm still amazed by the beautiful sight. Lake Starburst is clear as an enchanting sapphire surrounded by high mountains and green trees. The snow on the distant mountain has not melted, but the wildflowers among the trails are full and vibrant bloom. This is freedom, Titania. Do you like it? The fresh scent carried on the wind is pleasant, and I gently stroke my horse's head, but the silence is broken by somebody shouting roughly. You shameless wolf pup, stop right there. You won't get away from me. A young girl with a bag on her back is running not too far away, and there's a military officer chasing her and yelling at her. But when the girl falls down, the officer stops too, and he's waiting for the girl to exhaust herself and surrender. He's treating her like prey. Disgusting. I have to help her. I approach the exhausted girl and suddenly throws a stone at the officer and resumes running frantically. She flees into the pine forest by the lake, and the officer closes behind her, and I follow them cautiously, guiding Titania to the bush. Quiet, horsey. They stop, exhausted. Titania and I hide behind a tree. Like how does a horse? Dude, I can imagine like a horse trying to do stealth with a horse. Cause like a horse is a big target. The girl is smeared with blood, and the officer is waving a whip. He's wearing an Austrian uniform, and what is he doing in Bavaria? Is the girl a wanted criminal? What a stubborn wolf pup. And if you beg for mercy, I'll consider letting you go. The officer whips the girl, and a dreadful wound appears on her arm. She looks only 15 or 16, and what crime could she have possibly committed? But if I stop the officer, I'll be interfering in his job, and Mother always tells me not to get involved in things like this. The officer raises his whip again, and I decide to stop. I whistle short and quickly, and Titania springs forth and knocks the officer aside. He glares at me, and his whip strikes the ground and stirs up a cloud of dust. Where do you come from? And get out of my way, I'm arresting a wanted criminal. Wanted criminal or not, I don't believe in corporal punishment. She could be put to work in the mines and, or building roads and stuff whipping has never done anyone any good. I am Elizabeth, Duchess of Bavaria, and this is the domain of my father, Duke Maximilian. And who are you? And you don't look like a Bavarian soldier. I said, dude, you're trespassing. Duke Maximilian, and I can come and go as I please. I am the Austrian Emperor's secret army. The officer points triumphantly at the badges wearing, indicating he has no intention of backing down. The Austrian Emperor's secret army. I never heard of it. So I guess like that's the like the 1800s kind of version of like the secret police or something that they can do whatever sketchy thing they want. And what crime has the girl committed for you to torment her so? She has committed a heinous crime. Get out of my way and I'll bring her back. I didn't know loving one's nation and people was a crime. Well, it depends how you choose to love them. You hounded me for leaks, but you won't arrest me honorably. But you're a lady of royal family. Put away your cheap compassion and let me through. The young girl lifts her head and her face is pale, but her dark green eyes are filled with determination. His Imperial Majesty is too merciful, and is the only reason he's forgiving you traitors. Don't touch her. If she's committed a crime as you say, and show me the arrest warrant, and Bavaria will deal with her. I act on verbal instructions of the Emperor, and I do not need an arrest warrant. That is cheap and debatable. I mean, you can claim whatever because you have a verbal. In those days, you can do literally claiming to be. I mean, how do we know you're even an officer, dude? Not to mention she's Hungarian, not Bavarian. And I saw her sneaking around, and she could be connected to those revolutionaries. Well, define sneaking about. That is a baseless speculation. How could you arrest someone without any evidence, let alone beat them so? The girl's clothes are stained with blood, and yet she stands straight, showing no sign of surrender. Are Hungarians not also the emperor's subjects? And I trust a wise emperor will not order his soldiers to bully an unarmed girl. I step between them. I am from the house of Wildersby. Archduchess Sophie, the empress' mother, is my aunt. The emperor you speak of is my cousin, and she has not committed any crime. You will cease your chase and your abuse. I heard that Maximilian lives in the mountain and is quite mad, and he lets all sorts of vagrants into his household. The apple hasn't fallen far from the tree. Forget it. It's just one girl. I have revolutionaries to capture, and it's a waste no more time here. And you got lucky, girl. No, it's just that, I think around this time period, the French Revolution was happening, and the kings and queens got like decapitated and stuff. So then, the other monarchs in other countries, in reaction to that, then they went like hyper repression to anyone they perceive as revolutionary, because they weren't gonna allow the French Revolution to happen to them. So that's why they had like these people like running around, like capturing anyone that like could pose even the smallest threat to the crown. The officer declares at us viciously before striding away. The family name came in handy, and she was treated this poorly simply because she's Hungarian. I take a long breath and grab the young girl before she falls over, and she was swaying on her feet. Are you alright? Come with me. I'll find someone to treat your wounds. No, thank you. I don't need your cheap companion, noble princess of the house of Wilterbark. The younger pushes my hand away and her hostility stuns me. Wait, and why do you regret it now? Going against your aunt to save a Hungarian vagrant and a wimp, and you'll suffer the consequences. No, what I want to say is, why do you look like my stubborn little sister when you're angry? The young girl's furious face freezes for a second, and then she scoffs and turns away. Thank you, though it was unnecessary. Now we go our separate ways, and don't worry, I won't implicate you. She takes a pistol from her bag and shows it to me. She was prepared to defend herself. But you're still injured. Don't worry about me. I'm not a spoon of a lady. This is nothing. It's but a scratch. I had worse. We were often flogged for saying the wrong thing in my homeland. This hardly hurts. My sister, the younger, stumbles again and she collapses on the ground. Are you alright? I try to pick her up and the girl doesn't answer. She's unconscious. What a strange girl. I touch Titania's head and she gets down obediently, and I drag the young girl onto her back. Don't worry about me. Run away, sister. I ride with the girl in front of me, and a brisk wind blows in the forest, but I don't feel discomfort. The girl is curled up in my arms, sweating and muttering, and sometimes groaning. Hurry, Titania. Spring may have arrived, but it is still shockingly cold. It is dusk, and the light of the setting sun glints in the distance, undulating mountains with golden light. I look down at the girl lying quietly on the bed. Her eyes are shut tightly and delicately pale, and she's curled her body into a tense ball, and she looks like a wounded beast. Yes, Sister, come chase Ida, sister. And the young girl babbles in Hungarian, and I can understand only some of it. Now you sound like a young child, and are you dreaming of playing with your sister? Is your name Ida? Ida doesn't respond, and I think of the scars and I saw when I dressed her wound inside. What has this young girl gone through? Save me, sister. And I gently wipe away the sweat on Ida's forehead, and with a towel and her long butterfly eyelashes flutter slightly, and she slowly opens her eyes. You're awake. You slept all afternoon. Why are you here? Ida throws the bed covers and leaps out of the bed, and she suppresses a scream of pain as the wound quickly motion pulls at her wounds. Be careful, the one on your back is very deep. Ida is still hostile, but I'm glad to see her awake. I'll get you some food, and after you eat it, I'll take you home. No, I'm leaving now. You're nothing to fear her. I won't hurt you, Ida. How do you know my name? I heard you talking in your sleep. And you see when you're talking in your sleep. Have you been separated from your family? Are you looking for your sister? Ida clutches her shoulder and looks me warily, and she doesn't answer my question. You're not Hungarian. How dare you eavesdrop on me? I didn't mean to. I heard you while I was dressing your wounds. Don't worry, I only learned some basic phrases from Mr. Malaya. The only thing I understood was that you were calling for your sister. You heard wrong. I would never do that. Ida stamps her foot angrily, and her pale cheeks suddenly flush, and I can help but sniggering. She looks like our young Marie. And what are you laughing at? I am surprised a barbarian princess will learn Hungarian. I like Hungarian very much. You don't know the first thing about Hungary. Noble ladies let you stay at home and knit, and you only read about the world, you don't experience it. I said, well, that's not our fault, cause the adult males of the household dictate our entire life, And if we don't obey, then we get sent to a nunnery. Let me guess what you read. Shameless Hungarians betraying attack the royal family, or Hungarian vagrants loot the granaries like madmen. No. My teacher, Mr. Malaya, is Hungarian, and I likely know more about Hungary than you think. I love poems of Sandor. Mr. Malaya once gave me a collection of Petoffi's poems that he transcribed himself. None of Petoffi's poems are shallow or flashy, and it is full of depth and emotion. Especially Liberty and Love is so inspiring. For my love, I'll sacrifice my life. For liberty, I'll sacrifice my love. That was my sister's favorite poem. Petoffi is our hero. Ada looks out of the window and stares at the setting sun, and she smiles briefly but quickly frowns again. But do you know how our hero poet died? He was killed by the royal friends of the Russian cavalry. That's all you like, romantic poetry. You have no idea that my land has long been soaked in blood. Well, you can say that about every place. You know nothing of the oppression we have suffered and are still suffering. Ida clenches her fist in anger and pain in her face. Ida, I know of your people's suffering as well. The unrest, no, the revolution. I stammer, and I only know a little of the British history. And 5 years ago, a wave of revolution swelled across Europe, and the people were outraged and took to the street. The Emperor Ferdinand I of Austria abdicated, and the Prime Minister Metternich fled to England. Amid the chaos, a new young emperor ascended the throne, and he restored order to the empire by suppressing the Hungarian Revolution. So this one takes place like after the Marie Antoinette stuff. That's when Mr. Malaya fled to Bavaria, where father took him in. Sissi. Mr. Malaya enters the room carrying a basket of food, and his arrival boosts my mind back to the present. You're back, Mr. Malaya. Ida wants to leave. I refuse to share a room with the enemy of my people. Oh, dude. You're like a one-note person. Ida clenches her feet. Talk about like being like thankless, Like the guys are the ones who made the big decision, and like women in that time had no choice but to go along with it. Ada clenches her fist and gets ready to rush out of the room, and Mr. Malaya says something in Hungarian that stops her. A moment, young lady. Ada's eyes flash in surprise, and the two rapidly whisper to each other in Hungarian. I don't fully understand what they're saying, but I see Ada's expression soften and her fists loosen. After a while, Ada glances at me disdainfully and starts speaking in Hungarian. Then I might as well stay here, but no matter what happens, I will not grovel to nobles. What did they say? You're badly injured, and it will take some time to recover. Rest a while, and don't worry about anything else. And as you've seen, Sissi is not the type of noble who bullies others, and her father, Duke Maximilian, is very open-minded. My father taught me to treat people equally, and I have many friends who are not of noble blood. I will not be your friend. Come, my child, eat something. No, I'm not hungry. Ada raised her chin defiantly, but her stomach made a long rumbling sound. That was your stomach rumbling. Ada flushes and a hand covers her stomach while the other points at me, and unfortunately her stomach makes few more sounds. I'm hungry too. I pick up a piece of bread and take a big bite and then shove the basket into Ida's hand. I am only taking this 'cause you made me, and I'm going to rest now and you can go. Ida hides the food basket behind her back, and Mr. Malaya and I glance at each other and then leave the room. It's getting late, Sissi. You should go home. Don't worry, I'll take good care of young Ida. And don't tell anyone about her. I don't want you to get in trouble. I understand, Mr. Malaya. But could you tell me more about the revolution 5 years ago? That is not something I teach, Sissi. I know it's a sensitive topic, Mr. Malaya. But I want to know why Ida is so hostile, and I want to learn more about the real world. The storm that began 5 years ago hasn't ended yet, and I am a history teacher, not a current events teacher. I can tell you what's happening. To see the real world, you must experience it and make your own judgments. I cannot impose my beliefs on you, my child. Well, that's a first among teachers. So like I remember in the university, like one of my teachers be like, all of the teachers here, since we don't gotta like follow like a plan, we all got like agendas and stuff. And they are gonna push their beliefs onto you. Like you are going to get brainwashed, young college student. I picked your election notes, and what His Imperial Majesty did was unjust. And what the soldiers did today made me angrier, and he even mentioned he's from the Emperor's secret army. History and politics are often complicated, Sissi, and there's no absolute justice. That is also something you must one day see for yourself. Mr. Malaya has always had a good sense of humor, but he's quite serious today. Once the seed of hatred is planted, it is difficult to remove. Perhaps you will understand one day. Mr. Malaya smiles, but his eyes are dark, and he clearly doesn't want to talk about this anymore. Titania and I gallop along the lakeshore, and the wind blows at my back, but I can't dispel my frustration. It's late when I arrive home, and only Nene is sitting in the living room waiting for me. The tall brass clock is ticking away. Why do you return so late tonight, Sissi? Mother couldn't wait any longer, and she's gone upstairs to put the little ones to bed. Sorry, today's lesson was difficult. I'm asking Mr. Malaya questions. Go wash up and put some clean clothes. After I put on some soft, comfortable clothing, I feel more relaxed. Why is there blood on your dress, Sissi? She's right, my dress is stained with mud and blood, and I duck my head. Should I tell my sister about Ida? But Mr. Malaya told me to keep it a secret, and if I tell her, it would only make her worry. Did something happen to you, Sissi? You didn't run into a vagrant, did you? Nene has always had a good instinct, and I need to think of an excuse. Say you found an injured wolf pup. I picked up an injured wolf pup while I was out today. And how could you do something so dangerous, Sissi? Wolves are not like the rabbits and deer you found before they bite. Don't worry, the pup looked fierce, but it was small and it couldn't bite anyone. Are you hiding something from me, Sissi? When you found a baby animal before, you talked about it non-stop as soon as you came home, but you didn't say anything today. I'm just a little tired, that's all. Nene's concern is genuine, and I feel ashamed for lying. I'm sorry, Nene, and please don't be mad. I promised Mr. Malaya I will keep it a secret. Oh, Sissi, how could I be? And I could never be angry with you. I'm sure you made a careful decision and just where you might be in danger. The coachman said refugees have been causing a great deal of trouble lately, and I'm afraid there will be another riot. I've been thinking, Nene, the unrest 5 years ago was a disaster for the royal family. But wouldn't it have been a righteous revolution for the refugees? Yeah, that's debatable. Because, like, as shown by the French Revolution, all that the revolution wrought was like a bunch of chaos, everyone decapitating everyone. And then even the murderers started decapitating people. And then Napoleon Bonaparte happened, and then the kings came back after Napoleon. So they were back to square one. So all of that bloodshed and killing to remove the monarchy, it was for nothing. Don't say things like that, Sissy, especially around mother. And our mother fears Aunt Sophie and doesn't want to hear such things, so father won't speak of them at home. You were still young then, Sissy, and you likely had no idea what was happening. It wasn't just Austria, Bavaria was in chaos, and the vagrants invaded the palace. If father were not so friendly with commoners, our home in Munich would have been burned down. And the emperor encountered an even more difficult situation in Innsbruck. I remember my mother bringing my sister and me to Innsbruck that year, and we visited Aunt Sophie who had come to take refuge. I don't remember seeing the Emperor of Austria though, but I do remember Aunt Sophie was filled with hatred and indignation. She ordered all those who involved in unrest to severely punish, especially the Hungarians, and she was furious with my father because he supported the commoners. What do you think, Nene? Do you agree with Aunt Sophie? Why do we all hate each other? Yeah, well, poverty breeds hatred. That's why if you want to get the commoners riled up, just make them poorer and poorer until they explode. That's the easiest way to piss people off. I look at Nene seriously, and she's been patient with my questions since we were children. It doesn't matter what I think, Sissy. Many things started before we were even born, and so hostilities will never go away. Every person has a role to play and their duties to fulfill. And what is our duty? Protect the Wistenbach family and its glory, of course, and sit there and look pretty and produce many heirs. Then I stark and then stares out the window, and there's loyalty in her eyes I've never seen before. But father told us to follow our hearts, Nene, and I just want to be myself. Nene's gaze turns to me, and she gently strokes my head like always. Sleep, Sissy, you only need to be yourself. No matter what happens, I will protect you, and Carl and little Mary as well, of course. I'll protect you too, Nene. And if we're ever separated, I will do everything in my power to find you. I can't help but blurt out what I'm thinking. What are you babbling about, Sissy? Nene, I just mean, I'm so glad I have a sister like you. Everything is silent, and I lie in bed, tossing and turning, and I make a silent wish to the sky. I hope the seed of hatred has not yet taken root in everyone's heart, and I hope it's not too late. Ida stays with Mr. Malay, and he claims she's a distant relative who's coming to him for shelter. I visit often, bringing her packages, and she recovers quickly, but her attitude towards me is still cold as ice. The rain finally stops after many days, and I visit Ida. I shouldn't be disappointed. Father says it's not always easy to make friends, and I recently bought her food and medicine, and I will bring something else today. And what are you looking for, Sissy? I'm so occupied with finding something I didn't notice Nene enter my room. I'm looking for a gift for my new friend. Is your friend the girl Ida at Mr. Malay's house? I saw her from a distance yesterday, and she was helping Mr. Malay feed the horses. Yes, that's her. Why not give her a pair of shoes? Her shoes look wonderful idea, Nene. You're so thoughtful. I hugged Nene and I looked at a pair of riding boots father gave me and put them in a box. You should change and go downstairs, Sissy, and remember to return early. You've been visiting Mr. Malay too often and staying too long. Mother's starting to worry. Oh, like a woman staying at a guy's house for too long during that time period. And even in modern day times, they'd be like, oh, that's very sus, because God forbid a man and a woman can be friends and not like be sleeping with each other. That's because Ada and I always bicker when we meet, and sometimes we argue most of the day without realizing it. Don't worry, Nene, I'll come back as soon as I give her the gift. Ada always calls me a high and mighty princess, and I wear something simple today. She's just jealous that you were born into riches. Like just hating somebody just because they're well to do. That's just mean. But that's envy for you. Especially if they're being nice to you, you know? Like just because like jerks say rich jerks are being mean to you doesn't mean that all rich people are like jerks, you know? I go downstairs in high spirits, but my mother's scowling and she angrily slams a newspaper on the table. How maddening. Why is Max babbling in the newspaper again? Father's reading a new essay. Let me see. Excitedly I rush to my mother, and Nene helplessly shakes her head and hands me the newspaper. Father's column is totally blank, and there's only a single line printed in the footer. This content has been censored, and it says, please stay tuned for the next issue. Father didn't write anything in this week's column, Mother. Didn't write anything. He may as well have proclaimed he opposes the Emperor. By God, and I feel a migraine coming on. Yeah, are you alright, Mother? I imagine Father is just making a joke for the readers. But using the censors, and how amusing of him, and no wonder the people call him Mad Max. And Father does say this is a crazy time. And besides Father's blank column, the rest of the paper is filled with wanted posters and newly issued regulations. I think Father is a brave man. You must wake up, Sissi, and do not become like your father. How infuriating, and why doesn't Max just write a barbarian ballads like he used to? Cause he got himself a different hobby, you know, like eventually being like into politics is more of a hobby these days. But then again, he's rich enough to like be able to influence people's opinion and do stuff. Don't be angry, Mother. Father has always been this way. There is already too much chaos, Nene, and your father openly mocking the royal family is only worsening the situation. And your Aunt Sophie is not to be trifled with. I'm worried how this will affect your futures, you and Sissi, especially if you... I don't think the Empress Mother will make a fuss over something so small. And His Imperial Majesty is even more enlightened and generous, and he's probably having a good laugh. Nene interrupts her mother gently and are not hastily in agreement. Exactly, you're nothing to worry about, Mother. When Chubby Carl wrote me last time, he said Father's column always makes him laugh. And how many times have I told you, Sissi, you are not allowed to address Archduke Carl that way. He's the Emperor's brother. And you're free and indisciplined temperament is just like your father's, and I had no idea what to do with you. But that's what I call him when we're in Innsbruck. Don't you have to go to Mr. Malai's house for class today, Sissi? Go and don't be late. Nene winks at me slightly, and I poke my tongue at her and rush out of the house. Why do you think I always make Mother angry, Titania? When can I help Mother the way that Nene does? I start Titania's long white mane, and her response is loud and rattling snore. I don't know where Father's gone. I miss him. It's drizzling rain, and the distant mountains and the lake are thick with fog, and everything looks blurry. And I hear a faint, melodious hum, and I look for its origin. Is that Ida? Ida standing on the lakeshore in the mist fog, and I can't see her face, but her song is sad. I heard Mr. Malai sing this song before. Is it a song of homesickness? Is Ida thinking of home again, and I should... Nene always comforts me when I feel sad, and let me be Ida's sister today. Ida. I approach slowly so I don't scare her, and Ida turns frowning and she still looks proud, but there are tears in her eyes. Your Royal Highness Princess Elizabeth, you do follow me everywhere. Are you crying, Ida? Do you miss your sister? I'm not crying, can you see it's raining? But her eyes are red. There's no need to hide it, and if I was separated from my sister, I wouldn't stop crying. Tears are a sign of weakness, and I'm not like you. Ida takes a step forward and hands on hips, and it's only then that I see the shabby bag at her feet. You're leaving? My wounds have healed. No, you can't leave yet. I don't need your permission. No, Ida, I'm worried you'll be in danger. Regulations have become stricter, and a single mistake could lead you to being labeled a revolutionary. Heh, even you know the Emperor's spies are everywhere. Then you must know what sort of situation Johann is as a Hungarian, and there are many people watching him. He doesn't want to involve you, so he won't even accept payment for your lessons. Isn't that right? I bow my head, unable to hide my shame, and Mr. Malai lives in poverty, but he has never accepted father's financial support. You can come to my house, Ida. It's safe there, and my father has taken in refugees before. He's not at home now, but I'm sure he'll welcome you, and I can send him a telegram right away. I am not a beggar, and I will not be your house to serve you as your slave. No, that's not what I mean. Is my father loves making friends. He befriends circus performer and wandering poet, and he enjoys drinking and reciting poetry and playing music and debating. If you join us, you can study and write with me and Nene, and I'm sure Nene would like you too. Oh, and I almost forgot a gift for you. Nene helped me pick it out this morning. I hand out of the gift box. Are you bragging about your leisurely life? While you use your birthright to make merry, the people are suffering. You are parasites sucking the life from us, and we are only tools for you to use to show off your status. As the kids pass away and the beautiful leather boots fall to the ground and land in mud. The boots represent Nene's kindness, and Ida's scorn is infuriating. I understand why you hate the nobility. And when we're not actually making your life worse, we are still shielded from the wars the world throws by our lineage and our wealth. And we are at best indifferent to your plight. But I never been nothing but kind to you, and I've been trying to help you. I squat and brushed the mud off the boots, and I nearly burst into tears. Why can't Ida see my good intentions? I like rain falls, and I don't run away from Ida. I'm sorry. She spoke in Hungarian. What do you say? Ida bites it but on her lip and says some Hungarian words I know quite well. I'm sorry. Do you understand now? I thought you knew basic Hungarian. I understood. I was just surprised to hear you apologize. I just can't stand it when you know ladies cry. And my sister and I shouldn't judge others too quickly. Your sister sounds very kind, just like you, Nene. Melinda is kind and sensitive, but she's not like you. She's no delicate Bavarian rose. She's an excellent horsewoman and an excellent markswoman and an excellent rider, too. Nene is talented as well, and she speaks French and English fluently, and she even dances, and even butterflies join her. Those are flashy, impractical skills, and what are they for? Nene can also ride, and maybe she rides better than your sister does. My sister and I grew up on the plains, and Melinda is the best huntress in our area. How about a race? Loser must do something for the winner. I feign arrogance and lift my chin, and Ida raises an eyebrows and humps. Oh, are you afraid, Ida? Aren't you always bragging about being an excellent rider? You should be. It's quite a big bet, and who knows what I'll ask you to do? Ridiculous, and how could I possibly lose to a noble lady who can only ride side saddle? I'll borrow a horse from Johann, and your Royal Highness prepared to learn something from a wolf. Ada leaves without a back glance, but returns a short while later on Mr. Malai's horse, looking cheerful and confident. This will be our starting point and finish point, and we will ride a lap around the lake. I pick up a branch and draw a line in the mud, and then gracefully mount my horse. With your clumsy writing position, I think I'll let you have a head start. That's not necessary. After all, I'm more familiar with this place. So yourself, don't cry when you lose. Huh. Ada hums again, and then squeezes her sides and gallops off, and another Titania and follow. The horses run side by side along the narrow forest trail, and Ada glances over at me from time to time, utterly astonished. You're not a bad rider after all, but I will not lose. We barbarian roses are not greenhouse flowers we grow in the wild. Ada and I glare at each other, refusing to yield. And as we exit the forest, we lean down the spring, and there's a dead trunk lying across the trail. It's time to show her what you're made of. I whistle, and they sharp and clear and clutch the reins, and Titania leaps over the dead trunk and races across the vast lakefront. Sorry, Ada, I'll meet you at the finish line. Don't get cocky, kid. And I hear rapid hoofbeats and Ada's angry voice behind me, and I can't suppress a smirk, and I gallop quickly to the end. The weather has cleared, and rain does gleam as their flower petals in the sunlight, and it's a beautiful sight. I wouldn't have lost if it wasn't for that trunk. Ada jumps off the horse defiantly, and her pretty face scarlet. We were neck and neck, and I want sense to luck, and because I am more familiar with Titania. Huh. And don't pretend to be humble. I admit I underestimated you. And what do you want me to do? I want you to stay with me a while. Are you afraid of getting in trouble, or do you need a maid that badly? Not a maid, a friend to study with me. I'd rather be a maid. I hate formal classes. Will you do it, Ida? I always keep my word. But you didn't mention how long, and when this period of martial law ends, I will leave to search for my sister. I'll help you search. Mother was to arrange a vacation for Nene and me. And if you come with us, you can look for clues along the way. You're going to Vienna too. Vienna is far from Posenhaus, but we'll likely go there at some point. You want to go to Vienna, Ida? I asked Mother. No, thank you. I just wanted to see how different the Danube in Vienna is from my hometown. Please accept this gift, and we will go to many places together. I smile and hand the gift back to Ada, and she takes it this time. I have to go to town and send my father a telegram with the good news. Wait. Ada slips a small cornflower into my palm. My sister told me to give something in return when you receive a gift. It's a basic respect. Ida springs back onto her horse and face flushed and gallops away. Crystal-like raindrops on the blue cornflower petals give us a tender glow in the sunlight, and I smile softly and tuck it behind my ear. Ida comes with me, and Mother has concern, but she can't deny my main argument. I need a study companion whose French is at a similar level. And thanks to Father's telegram and Nene's persuasion, Ida is allowed to stay. Please remember to finish the French homework Madame Dural assigned as soon as possible, Miss Elizabeth. Ada has been here for 2 weeks and is still unused to her addressing me so formally. In front of Mother and Nene, Ada acts like a devoted study companion, and from time to time she even supervises me when I do my homework. She is quite good at acting. There's a letter for you. Ada winks mischievously, and I take the letter from her. It's a letter from Carl. A cluster of blooming roses has been drawn in the envelope, and I recognize the sender immediately and delighted to open the letter. Dear Sissi, I have informed the Duchess that I wish to formally invite you, and I will be holding a salon on April 10 on Dresden Royal Palace, and many young nobles will attend, and I know you detest balls, so you are welcome to walk and relax in the mountains behind the palace, but I hope you spend less time climbing mountains and more time blending in these boring tea parties, and this is what the Duchess would like to see. Looking forward to seeing you soon, Carl Ludwig. Carl's invited me to Dresden, Mother. You already knew, apparently, and why didn't you tell me we were going there for our summer holiday? Because you would have been more distracted from your studies, and my daughter tells me that Ida's French is improving even more quickly than yours. You know I had no talent for language, Mother, but I learned a new writing position, and a race car when we arrive in Dresden. You will not be racing this year, Sissi. What will I be doing? I cannot chat with those ladies, and I don't know how to dance, Mother. You can talk to Archduke Karl, and the Prince George of Saxon will be attending as well. And you and Nene have both reached marriageable age, Sissi, and this is a good opportunity to find a husband. No, I can't do that. Why not? You're not a child anymore, Sissi. But Father and Nene, and I don't have to marry anytime soon, and that we can marry someone we love. You don't want to get engaged either, do you, Nene? This is the first time Mother has formally discussed this topic with me, and I look anxiously at my sister. What Mother means is that you can use this opportunity to find someone you love, Sissi, and she's not pushing us to get engaged. But I don't want to marry a prince or a noble. Listen to this, Max, and this is your so-called enlightened education. I worry one of your daughters will never marry. Mother shakes her head at the father's telegram, grumbling she leaves the living room. Don't be upset, Mother. Sissi, she's simply worried about you. I know that, Nene, and this is my fault and I made her angry again. I don't know much about Prince George, but I think Archduke Karl is a good choice. And you're always writing letters to each other, and you were very close as children. And I heard Carl has grown into a handsome, vivacious young man. And I never thought about my marriage before, and at a loss I keep shaking my head. And I heard the members of Austrian royal family are all short and fat with pockmarks and on their faces and genetic psychosis. I think it's best to keep your expectations low. But don't forget a lot of inbreeding and stuff. Ada finally speaks up after keeping quiet for so long, and her eyes are full of disdain. Is Saturn trying to help me? I met the Emperor in Innsbruck a few years ago, and he was handsome, modest, and dashing, not at all what you described. No, it's not about his look, it's just that I've only ever seen Carl as a friend. There's no need to rush, Sissi, you can think about this in Dresden. Nene passed my shoulder gently, and I sink into silence. We set out for Dresden and the next day, and Mother has prepared beautiful gowns for me and Nene. I'm in low spirits and on the way because of what my mother said, and I fall asleep as soon as we arrive at the palace. And it's late afternoon when I wake, and Ida has gone downtown with Nene to buy jewelry, and I'm planning to change and then take a walk on the mountains Carl mentioned in his letter. I walk briskly up the mountains, carrying my cedar on my back, and my spirits when I hear the clear and melodious chirping of the larks. Sunlight flinters through the leaves and shines in stone steps on the winding mountain paths, and the light sways. It's beautiful. I guess the street doesn't have to be so unpleasant. Branches and leaves rustle as the sound of footsteps come from around the corner, and I can see a person in the far distance. Someone else is hiking. What luck! But this part of the royal palace, who could it be? And I should try to catch up. I pick up the pace, for the mysterious person is a good hiker, and they move more quickly along the steep path. And I have to slow down because of the cedar on my back, and when I'm halfway up the mountain, the person has already disappeared. How irritating. If I hadn't brought my cedar, I would have caught up. I stop my foot in exasperation, and I hear the sound of a man laughing behind the trees, and his voice is deep but pleasant. Where is he? I squint at the tree, and there's a dark slender silhouette beneath a thicket nearby. Are they laughing at me? I walk towards the person, and they slow down to match my pace, and I speed up, but so do they, and they are intentionally maintaining their distance, and I can only see them from behind. What a strange person. And I finally reach the top of the mountain, and the view is breathtaking. And the rolling mountains, the wistful clouds, and the handsome young man in red and white uniform standing beneath a tree. How do you do? You're a beautiful lady who followed me all the way up here. I am doing well. I wasn't following you. We simply walked the same path. He chuckles and looks away sheepish and past it with an outstanding coincidence. I chose the steepest section of the mountain path, and I dare you to share my preference. And were you truly not following me? I wasn't following you truly. I simply enjoy hiking. I often choose the walk to the steep mountain path. Oh, that's not something many ladies enjoy doing. I thought you were chasing me for fun. I think you were the one having some fun. And why do you maintain your distance? Were you waiting for me? Would it scare you if I admit I was? The young officer smiled, and his dark blue eyes sparkled like rippling water, and I can't help blushing. Why were you waiting for me? My original intention was to see if a young lady could make it to the end of this rugged mountain road. Then I became curious, and I wanted to meet this lady who was out of breath but refused to give up. And you're more beautiful than I imagined, and you're as graceful as a hound. I am stunned. The young officer coughed slightly, and a faint blush on his face. Please forgive my rudeness. I don't usually embellish. Well, he did call me a hound, which is a doggo. I'm as grateful as a bitch. I'm usually rather quiet. Your metaphor is unique. I like it. If I may satisfy my curiosity, could you tell me why you persevere to the end? I love hiking ever since I was a child. Every time I do, I give it my all. Because unpleasant thoughts in my mind when I reach the top of the mountain, and the sun shines brighter and the air is more refreshing. Can you feel it, the pleasure of standing in a vast open space? I spin around merrily, and the young officer smiles slightly, and there's a hint of bitterness in it. While the view from the top of a mountain may be pleasant, don't you think it's also a bit lonely? It's not easy to meet other hikers on the path up, and often only one hiker makes it to the end. Do you feel lonely now? A little, but fortunately I met you. I'm also glad to have met you. If you feel loneliness, then you reach the top of the mountain, look down. And when you see the wide, solid expanse of land, you may feel something different. Your words are simple but sensible, and why didn't I think of that before? My father and I like to discuss things when we hike at the home. I am Elizabeth of Posenholf, and most call me Sissi. And how should I address you? I am Count Richard of Vienna. I am a soldier. You're here at the Archduke's invitation. You could say that. But I am not here for the salons. I come to hike and hunt. You also find salons unappealing. They never end, and all you can talk is about jewelry and weather. What a rarity, and I thought every young lady liked balls. I'd rather be outside enjoying nature instead of attending suffocating balls, especially when I'm sad. And are you in low spirits? I had something on my mind, but climbing the mountains made me feel better. I should learn how to relax from you. Richard sighs, and I notice that when he's not smiling, his expression is rather solemn. His lip is buttoned, and he truly is a serious person. Is there still something on your mind, and I could play the sitar for you? I play it for my father when he's unhappy, and his hiking has failed to lift his spirit. Yeah, it's like an instrument. I sit in the shade and play my sitar, and my fingers lightly across the strings pluck a melody. And a breeze blows gently, shaking the lush leaves, and a beam of sunlight illuminates Razor's face. He's as handsome as a Greek god, and his blue eyes are filled with emotion, and my heart begins to pound, and I stop playing. Your music is very relaxing, and thank you very much, Miss Elizabeth, or Sissi if you prefer. You're welcome, and it's getting late and I must be going. If you don't mind, please allow me to accompany you. Richard and I walked down the mountain together, and we speak of many things along the way: poetry, music, history, philosophy. We walked slowly, and I wanted to miss the scenery, and it's dusk when we reached the base. Sissi, you're finally here. A handsome young man waves at me, and he's good looking and stylishly dressed. Carl Ludwig. His face is similar to what I remember, but it's also quite different. I expected you wouldn't recognize me. I have become exceptionally handsome. Why didn't you come find me when you arrived, Sissi? And I was planning to take you to the mountains. You came early and with Sissi. I still Carl's eyes widen, and in shock he points at the man behind me. Didn't Count Reeser come here at your invitation? Count Reeser, oh, ha, he's mine. I am Archduke Kraus adjacent, and I was supposed to arrive with him. Because I enjoy hiking, I came 2 days earlier, and this is likely why he's crazy surprised. Ah, yes, Count Reeser is my adjutant. I am surprised indeed, very surprised. It's been so long, Carl, and I see you still are making faces when you speak. You're still so innocent, Sissi. Carl winks at me like he's trying to tell me something, and I turn back to look at Count Richard. He's also looking at me. In the light of dusk, his somewhat severe expression looks much softer. This is a good place to leave it. I hope you have fun with me reading Time Princess. Bye.